Killbuck, and I'm here to help. Actually, I am from Killbuck, and I am here to help. You're going to have to forgive me because I'll probably talk for a few minutes. It kind of dawned on me as I'm sitting back there listening to all the folks talk. I've worked for the state of Ohio for 45 years as of Friday the 31st of July, and I'm retiring, mainly because I got to get both hips replaced. But this may be the last time I get to talk to folks like you, good folks that are tax-paying citizens that needs radios that work. So I'm probably going to talk a little longer than maybe you want me to. So if necessary, throw something at me and I'll quit talking. Probably 10 or 15 minutes. Is that fair? Make anybody mad? Okay, good. Let me give you a brief history of MARCS because I think it's important that we know where MARCS started from and kind of dispel some of the rumors, because this time last decade... Yes, sorry. This time last decade, there was three things about MARCS. First of all, it was two words. It was damn MARCS. And the three things about it was, it's never going to get done, it's way over budget, and if it ever does get done, it won't work. So number one, we did get done. We finished on time. We still have capital money left over from the original $292 million spend that we're going to put to work for a new tower that needs to be put up. And we work remarkably well. We have over 1 million successful push-to-talks a day from all over the state. So that's a good thing. As a matter of fact, it worked so well that by the 2010 time frame, we were literally out of capacity for the old system. So literally for the last 4 years, if somebody wants to put 3 radios on the old MARCS system, we have to take 3 radios off, which we've been able to do because some folks had more radios than they actually used. But the legislature and with the leadership of Governor Kasich, we were given $90 million to do an upgrade. Now $90 million to do an upgrade that our consultants told us was going to cost $220 million. We're going to finish under budget with that upgrade, and the reason we're finishing under budget is we didn't put out an RFP, we didn't get a project manager, we did it ourselves. So we're literally a year ahead of the upgrade. We're materially done. We have the capability right now today to put every police officer, every firefighter, every EMS person, and every other first responder in the state of Ohio on one integrated, unified platform known as MARCS. Now we can't do that simply by showing up and saying, we're MARCS, here's the radio, here's the coverage you have, take it or leave it, which we had to with up until we started the upgrade and up until we had the leadership with the current administration. So we've developed a very sophisticated tiering system that says, here we are, here's what our coverage is, here's what our capacity is as a default, and if you can live with that default, if it works for you, all you can do is buy a radio and pay your user fees. But in many instances, that's not good enough. So in many cases, we partnered with counties and with municipalities, and a couple occasions with regions, and we've literally shared building out a much stronger MARCS system. So Mr. Kelly talked about zone controllers. We have all the zone controllers in the state of Ohio right now that we'll ever need to run every radio in the state of Ohio for the next 30 years. They cost $2 to $3 million a piece. We partnered very aggressively with a lot of folks. The closest one here, help me out, Dick Miller, the closest one here would probably be our ongoing partnership with Stark County, which we haven't finalized yet, but that's in the works. Partnership with Summit County that we have conceptually, that when their current dispatch consoles go out of maintenance, they're going to partner with us. We built a 15-site simulcast in Cuyahoga County. We have many Cuyahoga County folks on it. We are fully partnered with Greene counties, Warren County, Clinton County, Claremont County, Hamilton County, Butler County. We're signing an agreement with Montgomery County, Dayton here this week. So we have many, many different trusted partners that have looked closely at the numbers and determined that they can get a better radio system at the same price or less if they partner with us. And the end result is 3 things. Now Larry said interoperability, interoperability, interoperability. In addition to interoperability, which is what it's all about on the street level, when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and we got 1 trooper, 1 firefighter, and 1 deputy sheriff, we need to be able to talk to each other. So we can do that on MARCS better than any other platform in the world. So that's one thing. Second thing is we save taxpayers money by not building duplicate systems. And the third thing is, you know, it has nothing to do with taxpayers' money. If you got a radio system that works when you need it, you're sooner or later going to save somebody's life. Either yours, because you're about ready to get your butt kicked, or somebody else's because they're upside down in a burning car. So those are all good things. So the current coverage, which is what I'm supposed to be talking about. We have 2 towers that are actually in Wayne County. One at good old Post 85 down there on OARDC. You all see it, this big tall tower behind Post 85. And I'll give a little pitch about the strength of our system. You remember the ice storm in '06? Does anybody remember that? Really icy, it was like in February. Remember you didn't have any electric for a long time? That tower was without commercial power for 13 days. The generator just hummed along. Nobody even knew that there was a problem with the tower's power. On the 14th day, when the electric came back on, our generator service provider came out, changed the oil, and said that the generator's as good as new. So there you have it. Every one of our sites throughout the state, which is pushing well over 300 and some sites now, have that kind of robust generator backup. So we have that one. We have the one up at what we call Ackerman, which is south of, what's the little town on 83 right at the county line? Help me out. Burbank. Just south of Burbank, just west of 83. That's our Ackerman Tower. In addition to that, surrounding the county, we have a tower down at Trail, which you all know where Troyer's Genuine Trail Bologna is. So we have a tower down there. We have a tower over at Cloverdale, which is over by the youth facility southwest of Massillon. We have a tower at Post 3. You all know where the Ashland Post of the Highway Patrol is. One of the finest posts in the state. Dick Miller and I both served there, and that's why it's the finest post in the state, right, Dick? Yeah. We have a tower right in Medina. We have a tower over at Nemesilla, there at the Nemesilla Reservoir. And we have a tower at good old West Holmes High School. By the way, I graduated from there in 1968. Most of you weren't even born yet, but at any rate, the tower is up and running down there. So we literally have, 2, 4, 6, 8 towers that either are in Wayne County that provides coverage or surrounding Wayne County that provides coverage. And if you're on MARCS, things don't stop at the county line. So if you're down in, who's the gent from Shreve? So if you're down at Shreve, you may very well be hitting the West Holmes Tower. And you don't know that because the system's all automatic. By the way, is Homer Woods still a barber down there? He's got to be older than dirt. He's older than me. I'll stop in there one of these days. So in Wayne County right now today with a portable radio, like this one, which I just got coverage, or which I just got connectivity with the with the Post 85 tower at about 75% of its maximum strength. We probably have 99.8% mobile coverage in the county, which means you can spend your whole damn life driving around the county on a mobile radio before you find one place way down in Flowers Holler that for maybe 10 feet your radio won't work. Maybe you can't even find that. We may have 100% mobile coverage in the county, but I'm not silly enough to say that because somebody in here, probably you, will then go out and find that one place where we don't have coverage and say, see, I told you that there is places we don't have coverage. We probably have 90% portable in-street coverage for the whole county. Now we know there's some places we don't have it, probably in the Killbuck Swamp, down there in the lowland, there may be some areas. And then there's some pretty rugged terrain up towards Doylestown, so there may be some low areas up there we don't have coverage. We probably have 75% portable in-building coverage in the county. And by portable in-building coverage, I mean you're in a building, you push to talk, and you have connectivity. So the question is that good enough for you? Because if it is, basically all you got to do is work with us, buy the radios, get the radios programmed, pay the user fees, and you're on the system. Now, if all 1,338 of you come on board, we're going to have to do some work in the towers to add capacity. That's on us, unless you decide you want more coverage. And that's where we've become very sophisticated in how we do that. We've done a lot of modeling with you folks, what-if modeling. We've probably painted how many maps, Dick Miller and Joe? Probably a dozen, 2 dozen maps. Ink's pretty free as far as that goes. We know right now today that if we put a presence on a tower that's owned by I think a retired fire chief out in New Pittsburgh, and we went on, who's the Apple Creek folks? I think they're in the back room. If we went on the tower down in Apple Creek, that the county owns the property so that you have rights to be on that tower, and then we built the tower somewhere up around Marshallville. Who's here from around Marshallville? You all know where it's at though, right? That we would probably have 95% portable in-building coverage in Wayne County, which quite honestly is absolutely world-class. Now, Joe said something that was real important, or maybe Mr. Kelly, and that is you want to build portable in-building coverage where you need it. Which if you do an RFP and you get a vendor in here, unless you just make the most bulletproof RFP in the history of the world, they'll provide you 95% portable in-building coverage, but at the least cost when they build it out. So here's the question. Where do you need portable in-building coverage more? At the Old Stone Jail Tavern on 585 up by, the county line? Or down in the Kilbuck Swamp in a pierogi? And you don't need in-building coverage in a swamp, right? So it's a lot easier to make in-building coverage in a swamp than it is at the Old Stone Jail. How many of you know where that's at? It's a bar up there right on the county line. Damn near got killed up there one time. We don't have a dog in that hunt. We're not trying to maximize our profit. We're trying to make sure, damn sure that you got the best radio system that we can afford. So if you want more coverage, we can work with you. We can determine exactly where you have to have that portable coverage versus where it'd be okay, but you really don't need it. And once again, we can do it for less than if you put out an RFP, because our consulting fees, this is not a disparaging remark at all, our consulting fees are second to none because they're zero. So that helps us keep the cost down as we do things. So we talked about the 3 that we added. I can also tell you a couple things that's pretty important. If you decide to add those towers, what we do is enter into a tier 2 relationship, which simply means if you're going to add 3 towers and it's going to cost $2.1 million to add those towers, then $1.05 million of it comes right off the top of your user fees after you stand those towers up. So does everybody understand that? So like Montgomery County, Dick Miller, help me out. They're going to have about 6,500 radios on the system. They're spending $15 million to build out 11 towers in Montgomery County. The first $7.5 million of their user fees are erased from the books because we're rebating at 50%. So that's a good thing. We've had a lot of people that are very interested in that. So that means in Montgomery County, for example, those 6,500 radios, they're not going to pay a dime to the state of Ohio for about 4 years, maybe a little over 4 years. And that's with 6,500 radios. So, a couple other things real quickly, and then I'll get the heck out of here. You talked about pagers. We've heard loud and clear for the last 5 years that, well, it's all well and good to go to MARCS, but you don't understand because we still have to have a pager, and it's on high band, right? Yes? Yes. We have right now a working final beta version of a 700, 800 megahertz enhanced digital pager that we're actually testing up at the new Verizon Volunteer Fire Department in northeastern Marion County that appears to answer that question. So, if you partner with us, by the time we get rolling, you probably could get rid of your old pager system and go to this 700, 800 megahertz trunk digital pager system that would work off the MARCS infrastructure. Probably going to have probably talking $600 a pager, which I've been told is not out of the question. They should last forever. We're probably going to have to, Larry, you're on the steering committee, but just trust me on this. Remember, I'm saying we're probably going to charge about $1 a month